So Rahul, I'll be taking the demo session today for the Workday Core HCM. So just before I start, I just want to understand like how much of you guys know what is Workday and what is Workday HCM. Can you guys hear me?
Hi Rahul, this side Gautam.
Hi Gautam.
Yeah. I got to know about this Workday HCM tool, one of the ERP, which is helpful for the large organization to manage their data regarding these employees,
Mm-hmm.
onboarding to from the exit,
Mm-hmm.
attendance and time tracking,
Okay.
and few more HR operations which you can take care of this ERP tool.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Any others have any other idea or the explanation on this one?
Yeah, hi. Hello.
Hi Asma.
Hi, yeah, it's me, Asma. Workday is actually a cloud-based ERP, and
Mm-hmm.
we doesn't need any app or something for this, and we use browser. We can open it. We just need internet, and we
Mm-hmm.
can open it in any browser, and we can use it right away.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yep. So any other? Okay, fine. So by the way, before I start, let me just introduce myself properly. So as I've mentioned earlier, I'm Rahul. So I have like around 11 years of experience with almost around 9.5 years into Workday itself. So I have worked on both the customer side as well as the partner side of Workday. I'm certified in multiple modules within Workday, not just the core HCM. So that's it about me. I anything like if you want to ask me in between, you can just stop me and you can ask any questions or any clarifications or anything that is required. So the main purpose of this session today that we are connecting is mainly to understand what is Workday, what is Workday HCM, and what are the other things that we have available in Workday. Understand how the Workday HCM structurization is set up and a basic outline of the overall picture, right? So, as you guys said, yes, Workday is a cloud-based ERP. It is mainly used to maintain the employee data in the organization, right? So, just like this was a way back thing when we talk about Workday, it is just the HCM knowledge. So, it is mainly for the only the companies. But then apart from this, Workday has something called as a Workday student, which is mainly for the universities to manage their student and the professor data, right? They have something called as a Workday student. And then to save the procurement and the finance data and everything, Workday has something called as a Workday finance. Okay, so right now Workday is being like diverted into three different streams. One, to maintain the organization data, which is the Workday HCM, what we say, or Workday HCM system. Then, as I said, the other one is the Workday Finance, and the third one is Workday Student. Depending on the requirements or whichever organization it is going to be, they're going to provide those services to them. So, as you might already know about this, Workday has something called as Workday Partners. So, there are multiple partners in Workday. Few are called as the service partners, few are called as strategical partners. So, based on what kind of a services that they provide, the partners are being segregated within Workday, and the ones who implement Workday to the companies who wants to move into Workday, right? So, those are called as the Workday service partners, where they're going to provide the Workday service itself altogether, where they'll set up or they'll help the company in setting up the Workday system and not directly to Workday on behalf of Workday, right? So Workday, they themselves build the systems to the customers, and then apart from this, these partner companies also do the same process as Workday. So Workday has provided them the authority or approval to go ahead and configure the system. So these are called as the Workday partner firms. Okay, so there are around like a 40 to 45 Workday partner firms that are there. And the one who uses Workday, those are called as the Workday customer companies. So they have implemented Workday, or they are going to implement Workday. So all these are called as the Workday customer companies. So now coming into Workday, as you guys said earlier, yes, we can access Workday through the browsers, there is no need of any application to be installed on the desktop or on the laptop. It is just a web URL that Workday provides to each and every customer company who are already using Workday or who are going to implement Workday. And with that respective web URL, there will be a user ID and password that will be specifically provided to all the employees within the organization based on their respective organization setup. Okay, so all this setup, everything that will be done, as I said, these partner companies, the ones who implement Workday, they are called as the implementers. And implementers will have basically the higher level security access so that they can set up each and everything within Workday for that particular organization. So when a company go live with the Workday, which means they start or they're going to start using the Workday, they will request for one or two implementer accounts from Workday to the customer company. The reason being of the access. So they'll say that, okay, why? Because the implementer access is basically given only for these partner companies and not the customer companies. So they'll request for the implementer access so that if anything that is going to come up in the future, they'll have the respective overall access to make sure that they can do it. Okay, so this is the basic overview, and then the Workday can be accessed through mobile as well, not through the browser like Chrome or Safari or anything. It's not through that. There is a Workday application that we can download on the mobile, like all the other apps that we have on the mobile, and using the same credentials, so the SSO, whichever it is, you can access Workday through mobile also. Okay, so this is basically the overview of Workday. So now let us go a bit into Workday, what all are the things that are there, right? So as we are going to mainly concentrate on the Workday HCM, so let us look at what are the things that are available in the HCM, what are the other modules that are there, and what is the purpose of each and every one of it, right? So as it says the Workday HCM, it is mainly to manage the management structure or the complete organizational management data within Workday. So as we basically say the HRs, so the Workday HCM is basically a HR tool, wherein it's, again, when we say HR tool, it's not just only the HRs will be working on it. Few organizations, they maintain Workday as part of the IT. Few organizations, they maintain Workday within HR, but a separate team where they say it as a HRIS or HRIT, right? But basically, when we look into the Workday, this Workday HCM, it is a human capital management system. And we have multiple modules within this Workday HCM. The first is Workday functional, and the other one is the Workday technical. These are the higher level segregations of a Workday HCM part. So when we say functional, just think or imagine from the HR perspective, what are all the things that might be needed when we say we have a human capital management system, right? The first and foremost thing that come into the mind is what is the complete organization structure, right? About the companies, about the cost center, about the teams that we have structurized, what are all the types of teams that are there. Like for example, consider we say IT as one department. So within the IT department, again, you'll have different teams for the different softwares, right? There's one who works on only Java, there's one who works on Python, there's one who works on C, C++ or .NET or any other. And in the same way, think from the finance perspective. There is one team who will be working on the payroll part. There will be one team who will be working on the procurements. There'll be one who is going to work on the financial services or the accountancy part and all of it, right? So how this structurization or this complete structure of the organization is there and how it can be set up into Workday. So that is all the structurization is going to be considered within the core HR system. Okay, so that is the core for the overall Workday basic altogether. Then apart from this, what are the other things that we'll have from the HR perspective? We have recruitment, the basic when an employee is going to join the company, or even more we can consider like even before the previous process before the joining, wherein the candidate go and apply for a role in this organization, how they can create their profile, how they can search for the jobs, how they can apply for it, and then how they can how their overall recruitment process goes on, like the screening, interview, offer, background verification, any other assessments, then the finally the hire process, right? That is how the Workday recruitment is going to start. Then after recruitment, what are the other things? What is the next process? It is going to be, once the employee joins the company, handing over, like how their onboarding is going to happen, like whom they have to meet first. So if you guys know that every organization, whenever you change a new company, they'll most of the companies have the system where they say, okay, they are going to assign a buddy to you, wherein they'll help you for the initial days or might be for few months on whatever queries you get, or on the day one they'll be the one who will be receiving you in the organization and introduce you to the whole team and let you know what are the things that you have to do on that first day and the remaining process, right? So all this setup again to manage on the system, you have the onboarding module to make the onboarding process easy for the employee, right? To make them access, like rather than calling the employee each and every time, the recruiter going and calling them, they can just maintain everything on the system, and the system is going to send the emails or the notifications, whatever we call it, from the Workday to the employee who's going to join to their respective mail IDs, right? So that is going to be the onboarding structure. Then once the person joins, once their onboarding is done, the next process that we have is like there will be few courses that we have to complete within the first 1 month or 3 months or 6 months of the time from the when employee joins the organization. So there will be a mandatory trainings that they have to take, right? So to handle all this within Workday, again you have something called as a Workday learning module, right? Wherein you can set up the courses within Workday, and then the employees will be able to search the courses and take the courses within Workday itself, or the managers or the administrator can assign these courses to the employee, which are mandatory to be completed. So these are called as the compliance trainings, right? What we say, which we take it every year or once in a 6 months. A basic to basic examples like a data privacy courses or harassment courses, all this, right? All this training contents. So to handle all this, we have Workday Learning. Then the next one, once the trainings are done, as part of this onboarding, everything, the remaining things that we'll have is to update the personal informations, update the emergency contact details, update your documents or whatever the thing is. Then make sure kind of like store your data on your previous experience or where you have studied, what you have done, and all those. So for the personal information part and everything, you use core HR again, like how we have the organization structure that can be set up in the system. Then to manage this, the previous experience or the certifications that you have received or the trainings that you have done outside earlier, the trainings that you have completed outside, to manage all that, you have something called as a talent module within Workday, right? To maintain the complete talent related data of the employee, like which school you have studied, what is your highest education, if you're an experienced person, what is your previous organization, what are all the previous organizations that you have worked with, and what are the roles and responsibilities in those organizations for you, what are the skills that you have, what are the competencies that you have, what are the external certifications that you have done. So to handle or manage all this data, we have the talent module within Workday, right? Then there is a time management system, there is the absence tracking system, wherein like time management is basically to to punch in your time or punch out your time, or to basically like you have to go on a long leave or anything, you have this time management and the absence, wherein you can track your complete leaves that you get, the paid leaves, your sick leaves, or paternity, maternity, any other additional leave types that the organization is going to give the employees. You can track everything in the system and apply for whichever you want to take within the system itself directly. And for that, you have the time management and the absence system. Okay, then apart from this, you have a compensation module, which is the Workday compensation system, wherein you can track the salary, the bonus, the one-time payments, or the discretionary bonuses, or any other details that are related to the compensation that the employee is going to receive. So for that, you have the Workday compensation module. Okay, then you have Workday benefits module to track, like, okay, who are your dependents. So benefits is nothing but, where we can apply for the benefits that we get from the organization, like insurances or 401k benefits for the US employees, and all these benefit related data, like retirement things, or each and everything, right? All these can be tracked through the Workday benefits, wherein you can see what are the benefits that you are eligible, that the company is going to provide you based on your level that you're joining, or based on the team that you're going to join, or based on the location that you're going to join. So all this restrictions or the configuration setup, and how the employee can apply or avail those benefits, how they can add their dependents like kids, spouse, parents, in-laws, based on the company policies. All these can be tracked on the Workday benefit system. So that is everything on the benefit module. Then the other major one is on our hikes, right? Every year or every 6 months, based on the organization rules or the policies, they have the annual reviews or the half yearly reviews that are going to happen within the organization. So for that, you have Workday performance module, wherein you can track the goals or the KPIs for that particular year for the employee, and what is the status of each of those respective goals, or the tasks that are given to the employee, what is the status, how much they have completed, and what is the level of excellency that they have got in that particular item, whether they are good, whether they're better, whether they're best, they have exceeded. So all these can be tracked through the Workday performance module, again for the employee, right? So once the performance is done, the next major thing for us that we have is the hikes that we are going to receive, how much percentage that we are going to get as part of the merit process, and how much percentage of bonus that we are going to get, or how much amount of bonus that we are going to get. So all this, again, a comp related data, is going to be captured through advanced compensation module. Okay, then we have something called as the Workday reporting, to mainly track on or build the reports within Workday based on the requirement of the data that we need. Like if we want all the employee data, like their name, which team that they're reporting to, which location they are sitting in, when they have got hired into the organization, what is their overall experience, and all of it, you can build one report. Or if you want any data related to their compensations, like, okay, which comp grade they're in, or which compensation level they're in, what is their FTE, then what is their bonus percentage that they're getting, or if you want to track what is the merit percentage that they have got in the last 3 years, to check what is the cycle, you can build reports on the compensation. You can build reports on the absence, you can build reports on the learning, talent, performance, each and everything. Okay, then we have something called as Workday securities, wherein you can configure and restrict the access on, like, for example, I'm a employee within the organization. So what are all the things that I as an employee can see about my data on the Workday system, and what I can see about others within the system, what a manager can see, what all data that the manager can see for their direct reportees, the indirect reportees, what a HR can see, what a finance person can see. So all these restrictions are set up through the Workday securities. So any questions till now? or you think I'm going fast, or you think uh, might be you need a bit more information on something else? Do we have any questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Mhm.
Yeah, I want to ask that who do these securities? I mean, who put these restrictions?
So as I
Like
said,
you
the
told
one
me.
who configure the Workday system, right? The implementers. So what happens is basically, okay, let me explain about the cycle, right? How the process works on setting up this Workday system. So the first and foremost thing, consider there is a company who wants to move from Oracle or SAP SuccessFactor or PeopleSoft into Workday. Okay, so the first and foremost process, what they do is they reach out to Workday telling that, okay, we want to know your system more. Can you give us a demo, or can you give us a bit of process and everything, what all that your system can manage, and all those requirements. And with that, once they do that, the company will start a bidding process. So in this bidding, what is going to happen is all these partner companies provide their RFPs. So RFPs are nothing but basically when this customer company says that, okay, we want to use the Workday will collect a bit of information like, okay, what is your current process, what are the details that you capture within your system, and they share it with all the people who are going to bid for the particular project. And in these RFPs, these partner companies are going to give the overall structure of what are all the things that they can provide, then how much cost it is going to be, how many number of people that are going to be part of this particular project. So these are called as the consultants. So these are the people who are Workday certified, who got certification from the Workday, and they do this implementations. And once the bidding, everything is over, there will be something called as the pre-discovery sessions, wherein this particular partner company who won the bid, they and the customer company will have a continuous calls to understand what is their current organization structure, what are the things that they're capturing in the system a bit more in depth, and provide a solution. So now to answer your question, the one who does this security setup are the implementers or the consultants from the data that they receive from this organizational management. So as I said, there'll be a continuous call. So it can be a 6 months project, 1 year project, 2 year projects based on the requirement that they have and the size of the organization. So the company will say, okay, currently we have this roles or these accesses that we have in the system. So for manager, this is the data that they need to see. For the HR partner, this is the data that they need to see. Or if the person is a financial administrator or something related to finance, these are all the details that they need to see and all that. Okay, so based on their requirement, these consultants are going to configure the system. Just give me a minute. I'm just getting a call. Just please bear with me for a minute. I'm sorry. Yeah. So did I answer your question?
Yeah, thank you. I
Yeah.
understand it.
So the data that is going to be captured is something which is going to be received from the customers itself, right? The organization who wants to implement Workday within their company. So they are the one who are going to provide the details to these partner companies, and the partner company consultants or the implementers are going to set up that overall structure. It is not just the securities, the complete organization structure. So as I said, as part of HCM, you will set up the companies, the cost centers, the departments, the divisions within the organization, the locations wherever it is available, then the worker profile data, all this are captured through the core HCM. and all the other things like the learning related data captured through the learning module, compensation data captured through the compensation module, then the recruitment process structurization is done through the recruitment module. All this setup will be done by these partner firms based on the requirement that is given by the customer. Okay, so any other questions? Okay, I'll take it as a no. So now let us discuss a bit more on the Workday core HR, right? The core HR is the basic module that is required, and without the core HR setup, you cannot implement any other modules within Workday. And to learn any other module also, you need to first understand how the HR system is set up, like how the core HR configuration is set up, and what are the items that are captured as part of the core HCM, the complete organizational data, setting up the employee profile or the employee records, managing their active statuses, setting up which compensation they're going to. So when we look into the core HR, we don't just look at the core HR module itself. There will be few touch points that are going to be coming in from recruitment module in creating the job requisitions. Then the compensation module in creating the compensation grades and the grade profiles. You'll have the Workday reporting module to understand or to build the Workday reports to capture the data or retrieve the data of the employees. The Workday securities to set up the Workday security structure. So, and core HR itself altogether. So these are the 4 additional modules. Again, it is not in depth that it is going to cover on that one, but it is going to touch base all this module and gather or setup will be done as part of the core HR itself, the core HCM module. So all these setups will be done through this core HCM. Then the job profiles where we capture the job descriptions. So you might have heard about this. Whenever we apply for any jobs within any organization, the first and foremost thing that we ask for or that we see is the JD, right? The job description for that particular role or for that particular position. So what is the JD for that? How many positions are vacant within the organization when we go and look at the career sites or when we search on the Glassdoor, Naukri, whichever it is, or when we look at the LinkedIn when we say, okay, we have this particular position open, so that how that position setup is being done, all this will be captured through this Workday Core HCM module. So till now we have covered on what are the functional sides of the Workday. Right? As I said, the Workday is divided into 2 things. One is a functional and one is technical, right? So now let us look at the technical. So from the technical perspective, the first or the basic thing that needs to be understood is the Workday integrations. So Workday integrations is the core for the Workday technical, and for Workday integrations, Workday HCM is a prerequisite. Like how I said for all the other modules within the Workday functional, how Workday HCM or core HR is the prerequisite. The same way for the Workday technical also, the Workday core HR is a prerequisite. Okay, so why we use these integrations when the system is completely there? So sometimes when we look at the organizations within, the Australia or Thailand or China or might be US, Canada, Germany, and all these companies, what they do is few of them, they don't manage their payroll system or consider they don't manage their learning, so they don't manage their trainings within Workday. Why? Because they might be using some other softwares, for example, like Cornerstone, right? So the Cornerstone is one of the best used system for capturing the learning and the training needs. Okay, so what these organizations will want is they want to integrate the data from Workday to Cornerstone or from Cornerstone into Workday. So when they say integrate, means the employee has done the training in the cornerstone, but they wanted that to be replicated on Workday, telling that, okay, these are all the trainings that the employee has completed. These are all the trainings that they are in progress, and these are all the ones that they have registered and not completed. And when they have completed, if there is any expiration for those trainings, what is the expiration date and all of it. So to capture all these, we use integrations, the integration system. There are few Workday delivered integrations that will be available based on the respective module and based on the requirements. And for few, the technical team should go and build these integrations from scratch. And to build the integration, the first and foremost thing that needs to be done in Workday is to build the reports. So through the report, we pull the data. Then you have something called as the inbound integration and the outbound integration, wherein inbound means you are getting the data into Workday from the third party tool, and outbound means you are sending the data from Workday to the third party tool. Then apart from this, you have other technicals apart from the integrations, like you have Pitchy, you have Pickoff, which are mainly a payroll related integrations. Then you have Workday Cloud Platform to build a new web screen or the web page for the Workday. You're not liking how the Workday look and feel is, you want to change the structurization or anything, you can do it through this Workday Cloud platforms, right? You can build the web pages similar to Workday, and you can utilize those within Workday. Then you have something called as the Workday PEX. This is a new functional module that the Workday has released a bit recently, which means the PEX means basically people experience. So Workday is trying to structurize the look and feel of Workday and the accessibility through this Workday people experience. Okay, so just to basically outline whatever I have captured till now, the Workday HCM, the core HCM, is the prerequisite for both the functional modules as well as the technical modules within Workday. Whichever one you want to go for, the Workday core HCM is the core, and you should know how the core HCM structure has been set up. And without this, you go to integrations also. To do the integrations, you need to build the reports on how we can run the data or how we can capture the data. And to know how the data is being captured or how it is being structurized, you need to understand on how you are structurizing it through the core HCM. Why? Because we do this setup everything as part of core HCM, right? So if you know this, you will understand how the complete organization is being structurized or built within Workday. Okay. So any questions, guys? Leave Workday. You want to ask any questions on how it will be helpful, or what is the scope that the Workday is having, or what are the jobs that are there in Workday for the market right now? You want to know anything?
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, when we transfer data from Workday to another system, what we use? Any
Mm-hmm.
connectors or something in between?
Yes, the connectors will be used through this Workday integrations.
Workday integrations. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Mhm. Any other questions, guys? You're all very quiet. I thought you'll have more questions on what is what. Nothing? Are you guys already aware of each and everything on, like, okay, how the Workday market is right now, or what are the jobs that are available, and what is um, the pay rate that the market is providing for the people who are Workday, anything on the Workday certifications, the Workday partner firms, or the Workday customer firms? Nothing.
One thing in my mind I want to ask.
Mhm.
What's the like after we done all this course and all that, you provide us
Mhm.
the certificate, right? So what's the value of that certificate? I mean, this is the completion of the course. That's it. I mean, is
Yes, that's it.
we
So
can
to be
present it
very
anywhere?
precise,
Mm,
no. So this certification won't help you basically in moving into the partner companies. There's
mm,
just a certification that UpTaught team is going to provide to tell that okay, you have just completed this particular training, but this training is just to increase your knowledge on Workday.
okay,
The
it's just a
reason is
learning.
yes. The reason being, if you
Mm,
want to do a Workday certification, basically that is being provided by this partner companies or the customer companies, the training
mm-hmm.
can be provided only through the organization, the companies. So when I say partner
Right.
companies, as I said, this 40, 45 plus companies, you want to be a Workday
Mm-hmm.
certified person, you can take the Workday training only when you join that company. And these Workday partner trainings or the certification trainings are basically going to be within lakhs. A basic to basic, the Workday core HCM training is going to cost you around $4,500. But the
Yeah.
completion certificate that you get is from Workday company itself. Why? Because that training that you're going to get it through your organization, the trainer is going to come in from Workday, which is going to be a
Mm-hmm.
8 day full day training, and this cost the $4,500 or the $5,000 is going to be paid by your organization itself, not by you. You cannot pay for the training,
Mm-hmm.
and all
Okay,
those
so that
trainings are not
means
available outside.
and we cannot mention this certification in our resume or something. I mean, if we want to
You
mention that,
cannot
we can.
mention the certification, but you can still
Mhm.
mention your knowledge and experience on Workday. That is
Oh,
what
okay.
this training is for. So if
Hmm.
the
Right.
basic thing, right, you want to move to Workday and consider you, I think you might be an experienced person, you're not a fresher. So
Mm-hmm.
obviously you might be knowing when you want to move to a new tool, it is very difficult to join as a fresher, right? Like consider you want to move from
Yeah.
.NET to Python. You can't say, okay, I'm
Mm-hmm.
fresher on Python, but I have an overall of like a 8 years or 10 years experience. Will you consider my profile?
Hmm.
95% of the organization response is going to be no. Until and unless you are in that senior manager role wherein you just need to manage, there won't be anything that is needed from you to be done on the configuration or from the technical perspective. So what we do in those
Mm-hmm.
scenarios, we learn the trainings outside, we try to get a hands-on experience on that one, and we add that in our resume telling I have knowledge on this so and so system or the tool, and I have
Mm-hmm.
this much knowledge is what we showcase during the interviews. So this training is for that particular purpose. These are all like very quiet. Okay, so if you guys don't have any questions, that's it. If you want to know anything more, you can just let Praveen know. And if there is anywhere where I need to be involved or you need to know anything from me, you can just let Praveen know and he can tell me so that I can provide the responses for those.